I never believed the Bigfoot stories people whispered about deep in the Appalachian forests. Not until the night I saw something that changed every part of me. I was hiking alone, recording trail sounds for a nature documentary, when the woods suddenly turned unnaturally silent. No wind, no insects, nothing. It felt as if the forest itself was holding its breath. My phone's mic picked up a low vibration, something too deep to be human. At first, I thought it was a distant thunder roll, until it rose again, longer, heavier, echoing through the valleys like a warning growl. That was the first moment I realized I wasn't alone out there. The trail ahead narrowed into a dense stretch, the trees bending inward like a tunnel. I walked slower, constantly scanning the shadows, feeling eyes on me, though I couldn't see anyone. Then I noticed the footprints, massive, almost twice the size of my boot, pressed deep into the mud, as if whatever made them weighed hundreds of pounds. They weren't shaped like a bear's paw, not even close. 5 long toes, each spaced apart, almost human, but giant. My chest tightened as I crouched to examine them. Something huge had passed through recently, and the prints were leading in the same direction I was heading. As daylight faded, the forest became harder to navigate. Fog rolled in low, hugging the ground and swallowing the path ahead. That's when I heard branches snapping, not like a squirrel scurrying, but heavy cracks as if thick limbs were being deliberately stepped on. The sound circled me, slow and methodical. I tried to convince myself it was an elk, maybe even a black bear, but every instinct inside me screamed otherwise. Whatever was watching me was smart and curious. I tightened my backpack straps, switched on my flashlight, and forced myself to keep moving, though every step felt like walking deeper into a trap. I reached an old, abandoned ranger shack, the only structure for miles. Its windows were broken, roof sagging, wood rotting. But right outside the entrance, something made my blood run cold. A tree trunk, thick as a telephone pole, had been twisted. Not broken, completely twisted around itself. No animal could do that, not even a group of people. The torque required was beyond anything natural. My breath trembled as I realized this wasn't just strength. This was a message. Something wanted me to know it was capable of tearing apart anything it wished. And I was standing right in its territory. Inside the shack, I found claw marks gouged into the wooden walls. 3 long slashes, uneven but deep, as if something tested its claws here. The shack smelled like damp wood and something else. Something musky, wild, and unfamiliar. I scanned with my flashlight and froze when the beam hit tufts of coarse, dark fur stuck between splintered boards. It wasn't bear fur, too thick, too long, almost like the hair of a massive primate. My heart pounded as wind hit the shack, rattling the door behind me. Only it wasn't the wind. I heard slow breathing, deep and powerful, coming from somewhere outside. The breathing grew louder, closer. I turned off my flashlight, holding my breath, letting the darkness swallow me. Something walked around the shack, heavy footfalls, shaking dust from the ceiling. I felt each step through the wooden floor, like distant earthquakes. Then a shadow passed across the broken window. Broad shoulders, impossibly tall, with shaggy outlines. It paused, listening, sniffing the air, as if trying to locate me. My hands shook so hard, I almost dropped my phone. For a moment, I thought it would burst through the wall. Instead, it let out a low rumble that vibrated the entire shack. I couldn't stay inside. If it was hunting me, that shack wouldn't hold for long. I slipped out the back, moving quietly through the trees, forcing my breathing to stay slow. But the creature heard me anyway. A roar erupted behind me, deep, primal, loud enough to shake leaves off branches. I ran blindly through the forest, tripping over rocks, scraping my arms on thorns. The footfalls behind me thundered, like someone dropping boulders. It was chasing me, closing the distance with terrifying speed. I didn't dare look back. I already knew it was huge, but hearing it move was even worse. I stumbled into a ravine, sliding down the slope and crashing into the dirt below. Pain shot through my leg, but I forced myself to crawl behind a fallen log. Above the ravine, the creature stopped. Its silhouette blocked the moonlight. Massive, towering, covered in thick fur, with arms that hung lower than any human's. Its breathing was heavy, frustrated, like it had lost sight of me. Then it bent down and examined the ground where I slid. I watched in horror as it lifted a 100-pound rock with one hand, sniffing it like tracking my scent. I stayed perfectly still, praying it wouldn't look down. Minutes felt like hours as the creature searched the ridgeline. It let out strange vocalizations, half whistles, half guttural roars, almost like it was calling for others. That idea terrified me more than anything else. If there was one Bigfoot, there could be more. Suddenly it crouched, scanning the ravine with glowing amber eyes that pierced through the darkness. I pressed my body deeper into the wet soil, heart beating painfully loud. The creature tilted its head, listening, analyzing every tiny sound. For a horrifying second, I thought it spotted me, until it suddenly turned away and vanished into the tree line. I didn't move until the forest went silent again. When I finally climbed out of the ravine, the creature was gone, leaving only broken branches and enormous footprints behind. I limped through the woods until sunrise, refusing to stop or rest. That night changed everything I thought I knew about the world. Bigfoot isn't a myth, and whatever I encountered wasn't just an animal. It was intelligent, territorial, and aware of me. People ask, Why I never went back with cameras or a research team. The truth is simple. Once you've seen what lives in the deepest parts of those woods, you never want to risk seeing it again.